What up, everybody? It's yours truly, MzCorvette. I'm here on an assignment to really talk to my people that are dealing with betrayal right now. It's been on my heart the past couple days here, and you are looking at somebody that know betrayal all too well. And so when I speak to you today, it is coming from a real place. I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly the place in your mind that you are. But I want to talk about something that has never been talked about in this way. The story of Judas. And if you haven't heard the story of Judas, I'm going to explain it a little bit here right now. Coming up as a PK, I learned very quickly about this story. And I was very interested earlier on when I heard the story, but I just felt like it wasn't told all the way correct. And so the parts that was told was that Judas betrayed Jesus. The part that have not been discussed is what did Jesus do after the betrayal. And it's not talked about because the betrayal is what got Jesus killed. So his life did not go on to show us what he would have done. Judas was not a stranger to Jesus. He wasn't a stranger to Jesus. He knew Jesus. He was in Jesus's home. He ate at Jesus's table. You know, he followed Jesus. When Judas betrayed Jesus, he did it for money. So when Jesus went through this, of course he was pissed. He was pissed. But one of the most powerful things that he said once God gave him sight to see, do what you're gonna do. Do it quickly. Now this is after Judas just showed up at his crib like he ain't do nothing. Like literally Judas set him up. He went and told people that didn't believe that Jesus was who he was. He literally told them where he stayed, this, that, everything. And they came for Jesus. They took him. They would hang people if they did a serious crime. And so Jesus was hung. We hear about that all the time in church, but this is more deeper than just being hung. If ever you were hung back in them days, you committed a serious crime. And so they said that Jesus had committed fraud. And Judas sold Jesus out and made it seem like, yep, and I know exactly where he is. But if I do this, you gotta pay me. And he did it all for money. Jesus was getting whipped. He was getting whipped. I'm going somewhere with this, guys, follow me. At the hand of somebody else. Jesus, he dies on the cross. What happened to Judas? I look deeper into this story with Judas and see what happens to Judas, because this is the one that actually betrayed him. This is what happened to him, because this is going to tell me what needs to happen to people that betray me, you know. And so Judas, he had the money. He could have did anything with the money. He could have went and bought anything, but instead he couldn't even spend it. Instead, he knew what he had done, and it ate him up inside, and he ended up hanging himself. He ended up killing himself. And it got me to thinking about this, forget them for they know not what they do. I said, well, then that don't make any sense. You know, what is it that I should be praying? Because one thing you should not ever do is retaliate. You should not ever do unto others what they've done unto you. You shouldn't do that, because you're going to have to pay too at some point. So retaliation is never the key. So what am I supposed to do? Now I'm just down here. People just can walk over me. They can just get away with murder. They can just do whatever to me. And Jesus says to me, no. Look into the story. No. The saying, they shall reap what they sow, began to really overtake my heart. Like really. And I started to really look into that. And what I found out was that's karma. Karma is going to deal with these people. There is nothing that you have to do. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be hateful. You don't have to get cold. Whatever they have done, they're going to get that back. They're going to reap what they sow. And it's not about the scripture, because a lot of these things we have to take with a grain of salt, because it was written by people. So we don't know what all is true. But I know what I lived. I know what I feel. I know what pain is. I know if it makes sense or not make sense. You know? And so Jesus is real. And his story is real. But can you imagine people that hate you writing your story? That's a betrayal in itself too. So it's always good to tell your story yourself. That's just a side note. Back to the betrayal. Those that have felt betrayal, I want you to understand there are layers to this thing. You have to believe that God got you. You have to believe that God is showing you something, and you have to get the message that he's showing you. A lot of times it's a blessing, because he's trying to show you what's around you. Before God can elevate you, before God can take you somewhere higher, he has to show you what's around you. Because if you get higher and you got snakes around you, so you got to understand that, you know, God will do that. He will give you sight to see, and in that sight, trust him. And a lot of times people, you know, we throw out this word forgiveness. Well, forgiveness is not about people. So you cannot take that and say, well, I'm supposed to forgive them and then we're supposed to be cool again. No, once a person show you who they are, believe them. At the end of the day, I don't care how long you've known a person. You don't know a person until money's involved. You don't truly know a person until power is involved. And money can change people. It may not change you, but it can change people around you. They can start acting funny because, oh my God, look at what they doing. Look at what they got. I want that. And I'm going to say this very discreetly. I'm not going to be using any names here. But I watched a video that was surfacing around social media. And I also watched the betrayer. And I seen what was in his eyes. And what's in his eyes is not him. It's not the guy that you may know. It is the spirit. And that's what I mean. People don't get that spirits really exist, but they do. They do. And they find people. That's the way they work. But and you can't fight a spirit in the flesh, in your flesh. And so that's where God come in. Because Jesus is spirit now. So he fights on our behalf. And so we have to understand that Jesus is working for us. You know, Jesus is who came down here, but God is who was, you know, leading Jesus. So God is fighting for you. And anybody that works in an evil way, they will not make it. We don't fight against flesh and blood. So I know a lot of people may think that it's that person that's doing it. But there's a lot of people that don't understand that there are principalities, there are spirits that is working that we cannot see. But see, the good thing about the blessing in Jesus' death is that now he's omnipresent. Now he's a spirit. So at first, you know, they could see what he was doing. They can see where he's going. They can see how he was moving. Now they can't see him. And he's moving for his people. And so I'm here to tell you and encourage you to get up. Don't let that betrayal define your life. Don't let that betrayal define who you are. Continue to be yourself and know and believe that what people sow, they're going to reap. When they build off of your success, when they capitalize off of you, they're not going to make it because they didn't get it honestly. When people do things the wrong way, it will never work. There are levels to healing when you've been betrayed, and the first one is to really, you know, look at what happened, accept it, be honest about it, be honest about your feelings, but know that God got you. You know, put positivity in your life, because you have moments where you just cannot believe what just happened to you. So you need that positivity. The days that are tougher than others, you have to believe that these people are not getting away with murder. They're not going to get away with what they've done. You have to believe that. Whatever you believe in, you make it real. So when you believe that Jesus got you, God got you, then he got you. And he's not going to let that slip. And a lot of times us as young people, what we have to do, because we're so social media driven, we have to, a lot of times we have to shut off, block people. We can't watch the hurt continue. We can't just continue to watch people hurt us. So you have to cut those things off and move on. For every person you feel like you lose, God blesses you with someone better. And so, and you don't want bad people around. So that's the blessing. You don't want bad people around you. You don't want snakes around you. So when you see it, count it a blessing. But also learn the lesson. I'm here to correct a lot of things that people is very confused about right now. What am I supposed to do? Do I turn the other cheek? Do I just forgive and just let that person back around? No. No, you do not. Once somebody show you who they are, believe them. And you don't have to have strife in your heart to do that. People make their own pathways. People choose their bed, so they have to lay in it. And when that happens, don't second guess it. You know, to keep bad energy out, you have to know where the bad energy is. Once it's revealed to you, keep it away from you. You know? And so, that story of Jesus and Judas is one for history. And I just feel like in church they just didn't do it justice. You know, because they left us wondering, well, what happened? So we just supposed to sit here and just let people do stuff to us. Let people hurt us. So we just supposed to be murdered because people felt like doing that. And that's it. No, you're not. But you're not supposed to retaliate. You have to believe that God got you. And that what people sow, they're going to reap. Like I said, whatever they sow, they're going to reap. You got to believe in karma. And when you believe in karma, you don't believe in hurting people. You believe that people are going to get back what they've done. As they should. As they should. Especially when it's done to a person. Done to a person that ain't did anything to them. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. All you got to do is keep being yourself. And when I say that, that don't mean keep being yourself to that person. No, accept what they've done. Keep it moving. But keep being yourself. Don't close your hand. When it's time to bless somebody, bless somebody. You know, but be very aware and be very careful. Don't stop being a blessing. You continue to be a blessing as God blesses you. You continue to bless others. But always watch your circle. Always understand that if anything happens to you in God, and you're in God, it is a lesson. It is a blessing. Because God will give you sight to see. And when He does, believe it. You have them days when you get up and it's just fresh on your mind. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. You still in awe. You know, you have your good days and you have your bad days when you've been betrayed. It's not all peaches and cream. You don't just wake up the next morning like, yeah, I'm over it. No, that stuff hurts you. It hurts. It hurts. And I've been saying lately, you know, the problem is, Jesus, these people that is hurting people, they truly ain't really been hurt. And He's not going to allow people to just get away with it. Now, He's not going to put His hands on people. People going to do it themselves. Judas hung himself. Jesus didn't hang Judas. God didn't hang Judas. Judas hung himself. So you let them people hang themselves. If somebody capitalized off of you, if they built something from you and then they tried to kick you, block them and keep moving. You know, keep moving. And karma is coming to their address. They will not make it. They will not make it. He just had them same feelings. But his story couldn't continue on because the betrayal ended his life. But it had to. Because he had to go on now to a place where nobody can see him now. And he's still working. God is still working. Jesus know how you feel. He's been there. I know how you feel. I've been there. But understand one thing. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. And I love you. I love you. You keep your head up. You keep doing good. You know, don't get weary in well doing. You keep doing good. You keep doing well, and good things will continue to happen to you. Your healing is in you taking it in and soaking it in and knowing that God got you. Because He does. It's your girl, MzCorvette. Don't forget to be yourself, because somebody else already took it. Alright? I'll see y'all around. Peace.